Today I'm going to be reviewing a recent release from Zondervan. This is the New King James Version Thompson Chain Reference Bible. And of course, many of you know that this Bible was out before. It was published by Kirkbride before, and there was several editions available in that. And it also came out from Zondervan in the NIV translation and the KJV translation. And it's also going to be coming, I believe, in the fall in the NASB 95 translation. And then I believe next year in the ESV translation. So whatever translation is your preference, there's a lot of different translations that will be available in this particular Bible. So before we take a look at it, let's look at the features. So we are going to have the complete text of the New King James Version, the chain reference system, which has over 100,000 references, alphabetical and numerical indexes that highlight study materials for over 8,000 topics, each with its own topic number for exhaustive topical study. It's also going to have an extensive study resource section that's going to include biographical sketches, illustrated studies of the Bible, a concordance, Bible harmonies, and many other helpful study tools, and then a fresh 2-color page design. We're going to see book introductions, 16-page full-color map section with a map index, line-matched text, the words of Christ are in red, presentation page for giving, gilded page edges, 2 double-sided satin ribbon markers, and this is it says European bonded leather cover, lies flat when opened, and then what I really love about this too is the New King James Version comfort print is so easy to read. I've said that before. It's my favorite of the comfort prints. Very readable. And then this is a 9.5 font size, which also makes it very readable. So I'm going to pull this over here. I took it out of the box to hopefully not do as much camera shaking as I do in some of my other videos. But I really love this cover here. This is the brown leather soft cover. I love kind of like the marbling and the look of this, so that's really nice. Then we have the spine with the gold designs, Thompson Chain Reference Bible, and then of course down here we have NKJV and Zondervan. And then the back is just going to have this leather soft and the ISBN number back there. Then we have perimeter stitching. We have 2 ribbons and a gold and a brown, and then we have gold page gilding. Nice synthetic paste down liner, presentation page, if my fingers would please work today, that would be wonderful. There we go. We're going to have our table of contents here. Comprehensive Bible study helps, the index of that, and then a preface to the New King James Version. This is an introduction of the Thompson Chain Reference Bible and an explanation of how to use it. So if you've never used this Bible before, you're not familiar with how it works, definitely want to check out these articles in the beginning here telling you how to use it, because it can be a little bit confusing at first if you're not familiar with the layout. It can be a lot, but it's a really great study help, study resource, so definitely check that out so you know how to use this Bible to the fullest potential. This is understanding the margins, indexes, and the other Bible helps. This just explains like the topic numbers and the chain verses, etc. So you'll know how to use all of that again, so you can use this Bible the way it is meant to be used. We have abbreviations, and then another how to use the Thompson Chain Reference Bible, talking about how to study a theme, study a book, study a chapter, a passage and verse, Bible personalities. So that's definitely super helpful and something I'm going to go back over again. And this talks about Dr. Frank Charles Thompson, who created the chain system in this Bible. And then we get into the Old Testament. So for each book, you're going to have an introduction. This is Genesis, obviously. It gives you the author, the date written, the purpose, to whom it was written, the main theme, key word, key verse, a synopsis, prominent people, the lesson of the ages, and then major chains that are in Genesis. So if you want to study a book, definitely start in that book introduction, give you an idea of the themes, the references that are included, and what it's all about, where to start, just give you an idea there of where to go from there. So this is the beginning of Genesis here. You're going to see it's a double column layout, 9.5 size font for the scripture. Chapter numbers are nice and bold. I love the New King James Version comfort print. I also like the red color scheme throughout here. So you have the black and the red, two colors on each page. And then in the margins here, you're going to see the chain references. So again, just make sure you read those beginning portions that tell you about how to use this, because when you first open it, it's like a little overwhelming, like, oh wow, there's a lot in these margins. What do I do with all that? Where do I start? How do I incorporate this Bible into my study time and my quiet time? So that can really be helpful to give you an idea of just where to start, so when you open this, you don't feel totally overwhelmed. I do feel that even though there's a lot on each page, it's very readable, being that it's line matched, being that scripture's in that 9.5 size font, it's nice and bold. The two colors, I think, just really helps my eyes not get too distracted. And I also feel like there's just so much in here that you could use this Bible pretty much, I don't want to say exclusively, because as we know, I like to use lots of Bibles. It's just kind of my thing, but you could definitely get a lot of study time out of this Bible and just get lost in the pages with all of the study helps and the chain references and everything that's available in this. Okay, let's get into this a little further here. I always like to show the poetic settings. You can see different layouts and different settings and types and genres in the Bible, so you can see what everything looks like, get an idea of that. So that's the Psalms. And then let's head back here to the New Testament so I can show you that it is red letter. As you know, if you watch my videos, you probably can read my mind right now what I'm going to say. Red letter is not my preference. However, both Zondervan and Thomas Nelson do a really good job with red letter, keeping it dark enough, keeping it consistent. So it's not a deal breaker. It's not too hard on my eyes, so I will still read and use this. I think maybe since they did the red letter, it might have been nice to have another color in there as well. Like maybe since they did red as the color scheme, like maybe, I don't know what color would even look nice in there, but maybe do a third color. Just throwing that idea out there. That might just make it a little less red coming at you in the New Testament, in the gospel books especially. But it's still really nice, still easy to read. Okay, let's go ahead and skip to the end here. All right, so at the end of the Bible here, we're going to have a lot of content here, as you can see, lots of study helps, which always makes me excited. So this is just a little table of contents for the Thompson Comprehensive Bible Helps that are found at the end here. So I will go through these with you. So we're going to have the Principles of Bible Study, and this was written by Dr. Frank Charles Thompson. Includes best methods of study. And then this is an alphabetical index of topics. Just want to make sure I don't miss anything here. Okay, this is a numerical index of topics. So first we had the topics listed alphabetically. Then here we are listing them by the number. So you can look them up easily either way. So you can see this is quite extensive. There's a lot of different topics. I might be missing things here, but suffice it to say, I don't think I missed too much, but there's an extensive index of topics in the back of this Bible. So then we're going to have a condensed outline of the Bible. So that's definitely helpful if you're not familiar with how the Bible's laid out and how the different books all fit together. It's nice to have that outline. This is periods of biblical history, so it gives you some Old Testament history along with what was going on in secular history at the same time. Bible character studies, so starts with Noah, goes over his origin and early life, the condition of society, his divine commission, the ark, last days before the flood, and events during and after the flood. That's just one example, obviously. There's Abraham, Jacob, Joshua, Gideon, Samuel, David. So it just goes through lots of different characters from the Bible. Then we're going to have prominent characters classified with the meaning of their names. So, for example, Enoch means dedicated, the man who walked faithfully with God. Noah means comfort, the ark builder. So just kind of gives you the meaning of their names and their claim to fame, so to say. And then which page number to find them on. Then we have an outline history of the apostles. Messianic prophecies and their fulfillment arranged chronologically. So you get the prophecies, the summary, and the fulfillment. So prophecies, of course, is the Old Testament. Then there's a summary. And then the fulfillment is how that prophecy is fulfilled in the New Testament. All right, did I skip anything here? A little bit here. So we have Bible harmonies and illustrated studies. So it includes life overviews, pictorial maps, and outlines. For example, here, this is a map of the journeys of Abraham. An overview of Moses' life. Journeys of the people of Canaan from Egypt, or journeys of the people of Israel, from Egypt to Canaan. So suffice it to say, there is a ton of different studies you can do with this Bible. And then after those studies, we have an overview of Jesus' life, the harmony of the Gospels. This is an overview of Jesus' life, the life of Christ, so just kind of a timeline of his life. Lots of maps, Jesus in the year of inauguration, his last months, his last days, his hours upon the cross, his post-resurrection appearances. This is an overview of Paul's life. So if you enjoy maps, there's a lot of maps back here of different, this is all like Paul's different voyages. And this is distances in miles between Old Testament cities. And then we have a topical treasury, which is practical helps for Christian workers. Hebrew times, seasons, and festivals, and then we're going to have the New King James Version concordance. All right, and then this is, make sure I don't skip too much here, there's a color map index and a table of weights and measures. And then we're going to have some lined pages for notes, followed by the typical maps that we see at the end of our Bibles. So this is a great study resource, something to use in your study time if you're doing a topical study, if you're doing a study of a book. If you're doing a character study, the Thompson Chain Reference Bible is definitely a great way to do those studies, and it is now available, as I said, in the New King James Version, the NIV translation, which I also reviewed, and I will post the link to that review below as well, because I did review the large print edition of that one. And this one in the New King James Version and the KJV, it also comes, I believe, in a large print version, Premier Collection, the one you see here, of course, and then there's a handy size version as well. So if you have had a Thompson Chain Reference Bible before, or you're looking for a great addition to your Bible study time, this would be a great option. And Zondervan did provide a copy of this Bible in return for an honest review.